fish oil or fish scrap or something like that?
It's like an asphalt paper instead of fiberglass.
Oh, okay.
So it's called
Confusing.
organic.
All right.
But most manufacturers, almost all of them, use a base of fiberglass. Okay? So this is what we start with. Then we have all these ingredients. You have granules, and these obviously present the aesthetics of it, the colors, and make it pretty to the homeowners, right? But more importantly, these granules serve to protect the asphalt. These protect it from UV degradation, because UV really destroys asphalt, okay? Then we have sand, which we put on the back. It's called backer sand. The reason we do that, because we don't want you guys getting out there with a bunch of bricks on the roof, right? You wouldn't be able to separate it. So we put sand on the back. This is the limestone, and this is pretty much what all manufacturers use as their filler, okay? Limestone helps to stabilize the asphalt as well as a fire retardant, so it helps with fire ratings, okay? Then we have the black goo, your asphalt, okay? So when manufacturers first started going to limited lifetime, all of a sudden we started seeing the weights of shingles dropping. I don't know if you guys have noticed this at all out there. Our shingles, we have not dropped the weights on our shingles, okay? So what do you think the other manufacturers are getting rid of to drop the weights?
Limestone.
Can't get rid of granules.
Limestone. Asphalt.
They can't get rid of limestone. They can add more limestone, okay?
The asphalt.
The most expensive thing in the product, the asphalt.
So if gas prices go up, that affects you guys also?
No.
Or like the petroleum?
Not as much anymore.
Okay.
It's not as much correlated or related,
Okay.
because refiners now have machinery in there, what are called cokers. And a barrel of oil, you can extract all these different gasolines out of a barrel of oil. And what's left on the bottom is basically the roofing asphalt or paving asphalt.
Oh, okay. So that's,
So these cokers are now extracting a lot more of the higher end fuels, because they get more money for those gasolines, okay? So these cokers are extracting more of that stuff and leaving less and less of the product we need. So the supply is not there. Whereas gas, actually gas prices should be going down with these cokers, because they're getting more gasoline out of oil. So it's not as much correlated with these cokers anymore.
so you guys are going short, or there's more of that because there's basically more waste for them too?
We're having to search
More?
more and more different places to obtain asphalt,
Oh, okay.
okay? Because the supply is becoming less and less for us in the papers. All right. So we have our zone technology, and we have a patent on this for another few years. Some manufacturers have tried to duplicate what we're doing by adding paint lines and adding fancy tape, that type of thing, but the main reason they cannot and will not copy what we're doing is because we run a 2-wide machine, and this is with all of our plants. So we're getting 2 shingles out of 1 sheet, so we call it 2-wide, okay? A lot of manufacturers have a 4-wide, so it's double this, okay? So we scrape our zone on the outside edges. That pulls the asphalt off, okay? If you imagine double-wide, where would they scrape those 2 inner pieces? It would just end up going onto the face of their product. So they're not going to go backwards and take out machinery that they already spent money on with a 4-wide and go to a 2-wide. Just doesn't make dollar sense for them, okay? So the other thing, I'll show you these things out in the plant, but the other thing we do is a 3M granular embedment test, and this is probably one of the most important things to us here at Malarkey, is granular embedment, Okay. We don't know if any of the other manufacturers are doing this test because they don't publish anything, they don't publish their weights, they don't, anyway. So what the test is they take our plant guys take a sample piece and they weigh it, and then they put it on the embedment test machine, clamp it down, and it's a weighted steel brush that hits on the sample piece, goes back and forth 50 times. And after that, they pull the sample piece, reweigh it, and that gives you your granular embedment. Okay. So we think we're using a little bit more asphalt. So our granules are embedded in our products a lot better. Okay.
So you don't have that loose.
Yes. So the 4 wides are running faster than we're running, but they also have a smaller press drum. Our press drum is rather large. Okay. So when this sheet receives all the ingredients on there, all this stuff, it's now one big sheet, and it will go around a big drum. Okay, that's our press drum. So we're running a little bit slower, and this sheet's on the press drum longer. Does that make sense? Yeah, it presses it longer, and we just get better granular embedment. Okay. Our oxidized asphalt shingles, they're anywhere from 0.4 to 0.6. Industry standard is 1 gram long, which is quite a bit. Okay. So our oxidized shingles, they hold their granules about 0.4 to 0.6. Okay. Our polymer modified shingles are about 0.1. Actually, nothing. Okay. So quite a difference in the modified asphalt. All right. So we get everything on there. Now it's one big sheet. And then it goes into a very, very large cutter head. And this is kind of what differentiates